Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron. I hope you're having an incredible day or night in Jesus. Saints and Sinners by Kurt Allen. And I'll have to say, this is one of the handiest little books I've ever read. Now, I really like church history, so that may be why. So I disagree with some of Kurt Allen's textual critical methods, even though sometimes he makes some startling admissions in favor of the Textus Receptus and received text. Other stuff, I really like him. I like his thinking processes. So what he does here is he takes like little biographies and people who had big influence on early church history, early church time period, just really good. And so it's by Fortress Press, Lutheran Publishing House. Willem C. Lenz was the translator. It's come out in 1970. So we've got the biblical ones. He has little biographies of several New Testament characters. But then he comes to Clement of Rome. What was a bishop? So they're like 4 or 5 pages. Ignatius of Antioch, the office of a bishop, which was fascinating, by the way. Polycarp of Smyrna, model martyr. Simon the magician, the struggle with Gnosticism. Hey, that's pretty amazing. Marcion, apostle of the strange God. Montanus, the attempt to reverse history. A lot of Montanists became oneness. The apologists, defenders of the faith. Justin Martyr, apologist and martyr. The Silitan martyrs, history written in blood, which a lot of these I just found fascinating. The martyrs of Lyons and Vienne, they prayed for life. Again, these are all just 3 or 4 pages. Irenaeus, guaranteeing the faith. A lot of people think he was modalist. Celsius, serious pagan criticism. Celsus. Clement of Alexandria, the Christian scholar. He was a holiness guy, too. Origen, controversial theologian, to say the least. Interesting life. Brilliant. I've read a lot. Callistus of Rome. The church is for sinners. Hey, he was oneness. But he expelled Sabellius. Hippolytus has a lot on that. Tertullian, a passionate theologian. He was anti-oneness, but he may have become oneness later. Cyprian, outside the church, no salvation. He was against Jesus' name baptism at that time. But Stephen, the current bishop of Rome, then was for it. Novatus and Novatian, personal ambition. Some people think they were apostolic in a certain way too. Dionysius of Alexandria, how is Jesus God? I think it was in this book I was reading earlier that he separated the Father and Son so much as to make the Son subordinate. He's considered in some ways tritheistic. Diocletian, persecution fails. Dionysius, by the way, he was at the time of Paul of Samosata being real big. Constantine's a fascinating guy. Donatus, a lot of people think the Donatists were oneness too. The Novatians, weren't they the ones, they didn't believe if you under torture denied Jesus, they said it's over for you. Donatus, defeat out of victory. Maybe it was a Donatus. Arius, the influence of a dead heretic. It'd be like Jehovah's Witnesses today. Socinians, Church of God General Conference. Athanasius, Christ, creature, eternal Son. And he had a lot of oneness things, Athanasius did. Eusebius of Caesarea, father of church history. That's not Eusebius of Nicodemia, which was Arian. Anthony, and I love these. I remember Brother Bernard teaching these when I was in Bible school. Hermit of the desert. Pechamius, founder of monasticism. Julian the Apostate. Now, read quite a bit about him over the time, and it just never registered until I was reading in here that he was a lapsed Christian, because he was trying to build like a temple on the Temple Mount, like a temple to Zeus, and the thing split open. All kinds of like supernatural stuff happened, supposedly. Basil of Caesarea, an old question resolved, which he was interesting. Again, reading Who was I reading about him the other day? I wanted to say it was Hippolytus, but obviously not, because he was 150 years after Hippolytus. It was somebody, maybe Holland, I don't know. Damasus of Rome, an early pope. He's the one, Jerome, he was fussing because they're trying to turn God into three hypostasis, and he says that was Arianism. But then he says, well, if you, Pope Damasus, make me believe it, I'll believe it. Theodosius the Great, not in a vacuum. Ambrose of Milan, he said Jesus' name baptism was okay, and he was Augustine's teacher. Augustine is accused of oneness quite a bit in certain illustrations. Anyhow, Augustine, pick it up and read it. What is it? Tolle lege. Now, I've just read, I've never heard anybody say it, so I'm probably totally mispronouncing that. Take it. Pelagius, the adopted heretic. A lot of people think he was from the UK. Pelagius, didn't he believe in no sinful nature? Jewish theology didn't either. John Chrysostom, John the Golden Mouth. He had some interesting beliefs too. He admitted, he said, well, yeah, used to you'd lay hands on people, they'd speak with tongues. So we don't do that anymore. They still were all over the world then, by the way. Christianity in Asia, I've done some reviews of books on that recently. Nestorius, a new controversy. He's not considered nearly the heretic he once was. It was a lot of politics. Ephesus and Chalcedon. Dioscorus, I liked what Dave Norris, somebody said, what do you do with Chalcedon? He's like, we're sola scriptura, man. We don't do anything with it. Leo the First, the papacy, finished product. And Justinian, a new age dawns. They say the laws of Europe are still based on the Justinian Code, which is bad because Jesus named people, rebaptizing people in Jesus' name, got the death penalty under Justinian. So Saints and Sinners, Myths and Ideas of the Early Church, great book. You may enjoy it, may not. Just depend. Always pray to God. I've got so many seconds in life. There's not a lot of seconds. What is there, 86,400 seconds in a day? Teach me to number my days that I may apply my heart unto wisdom. So I have just a little bit of time, so I want to make the best use of it. So if you feel like you're supposed to read this book, read it. Not, don't. You may just preach the gospel all the time, and that's okay. God bless. See you later. Bye-bye.